Me, 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 me. Good morning, collective. Good morning. Hello. How are we doing on this beautiful morning in winter? We are so happy to be here co-creating with you this morning. We hope that all is well with you. We hope that you're finding joy. We hope that you are learning lessons and overcoming them. Ophelia! Hey, girl! Hey, you're beautiful. Thank you so much for being here every weekend. We're so grateful to you. We're here with Mr. Old Dirty Bastard, which his name, first of all, he didn't want me to refer to him too much by Old Dirty Bastard. I feel really called to say that. His name was Russell Tyrone Jones, so I'm not sure why he feels that way. I'm not sure. And I kind of get a vibe that, like, I did a poll. I kind of get a vibe that he feels like he's been forgotten, that his legacy didn't live on, that he didn't create anything that was memorable. And I'm not saying that. I remember him very well. But he kind of is giving that vibe. So we're going to heal it. We're going to heal it. We're going to get his human perspective. We're going to see what it was like to be him through his eyes and see what lessons are to be learned. And we're so grateful for that. And we did do a poll, and he wasn't the most popular choice. It was Freddie Mercury and Heish or Old Dirty Bastard. And he was the least voted, but that doesn't mean that we don't want to know his human experience. See me. He just said, see me. See me. Old Dirty Bastard. Russell, we love you. We love your contribution to our pop culture. So my name is Patience. I am a spirit medium. I am the host of Spirit News on Spotify, a podcast where you can learn about your non-physical energy. And we have made that podcast for you with the help of our very own spirit team, the Guild of the Golden Triangle, me, Spirit Bell Mantis, my very own spirit team that I am in relationship with, where we teach you how to be in relationship with your own spiritual guidance, because everybody has a spirit team. And we're very happy to do so, to share all our spirit nuggets on our TikTok. If you want to be part of any of our socials, please find the link tree for your enjoyment in the description bar. It is there for you, and we would love to have you. All are welcome, none are rejected. We're here to hook up, to answer the call for Old Dirty Bastard. Russell Tyrone Jones, born in 1968. He was born on November 15th, a Scorpio. Which is also, I learned that the animal for Scorpio is actually a phoenix. I'm sorry. A griffin? Oh, shoot. Or maybe it was an eagle. It was a different animal than a scorpion. I feel like it was an eagle. But a griffin is the animal for the Guild of the Golden Triangle. I have a funny story about that I will share at another time. Oh, incubus, trying to get your attention. That's what the necrometer just said. Old Dirty Bastard might have an incubus, but we'll find out. So there's a vibe of him not passing on his legacy the way that he imagined he would. So we'll see. We'll see what happened to him. He did die of an overdose on November 13th, 2004. So he actually died 2 days before his birthday. So it says right here, Old Dirty Bastard, born Russell Tyrone Jones in 1964, was a Brooklyn-born rapper, songwriter, and performer who co-founded the Wu-Tang Clan in 1992, which, if anyone knows me, I love me some Wu-Tang. Robin! Hey, girl! Hello, good morning. Thanks for being here. I love you so much. You and Ophelia, you're my day ones. I love you. Thank you so much for being here. I love Wu-Tang. I grew up with Wu-Tang. I actually went to a concert of Wu-Tang where every single Wu-Tang member was there. Mm, very proud of that, huh? It says, known for his unique mic technique, bizarre lyrics, and humor, ODB was a provocative figure in hip hop. His style combined rapping and singing with raw, unfiltered delivery. ODB also released 2 solo albums, including Return to the 36 Chambers, the Dirty Version. You know, I have to say, Old Dirty Bastard, the thing that really stood out to me was that he didn't care. He didn't care. He was like the craziest rapper. He'd say the wildest things. His style was just, he kind of reminds me of like the drunk Shaolin master. You know, when, what was that game? It might have been Mortal Kombat. There was like a drunk Shaolin monk, and he was like, you know, all drunk and stuff. That's kind of what he reminds me of. But he did have this song on, I believe it was Triumph, Wu-Tang, and it was like, shame on a who tries to throw shade on a dude. You know what? Let me not ruin his song. I'm gonna look the lyrics up. I don't know the name of the song. Old Dirty Bastard, shame on a lyrics. There we go. Shame on a nuggie who try to run game on a nuggie. Buck wild with the trigger. Shame on a nuggie who try to run game on a nuggie. I'll F your ass up. Old Dirty Bastard, live and uncut. Styles unbreakable, shatterproof. To the young youth, you want to get guns? Shoot. Blow, how you like me now? Don't fuck with the style, ruthless wild. Do you want to get your teeth knocked the F out? Want to get on it like that? Well then shout. Yeah, he was controversial, you know. Yo RZA, yo Razor hit me with the major. The damage, my clan understand it be flavor. Gunning, humming, coming at ya. First I'm gonna get ya. Once I got ya, I got ya. I'm not making fun of him. He's saying just wild things. He's just saying just totally wild things. He's saying, you can never capture the Method Man stature. For rhyme and for rapture, got nuggies resigning now master. My style, never. I put the effing buck in the wild kid, I'm terror. Razor sharp, I sever. I mean, he does say some cool things, but he was very, what's the word? Vulgar. He was very wild and vulgar. So we'll see what he has to say. Yes. Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh, Spirit just said ground, and I was just getting a download about grounding before we started. So the download I got about grounding was, because some people are like, what's that? Like, how do I ground? Old Dirty Bastard was not grounded. And all grounding means is that you connect with Earth's energy. You connect with the electromagnetic field of Earth, because you are an electromagnetic, you have your own electromagnetic field. And if you're not grounding or connecting with Earth's magnetic field, you'll be very, like, you know, it kind of reminds me of those wavy, flappy things you see in front of car dealerships where they're like, you know, it's just like uncontrollable. It's kind of like that, because grounding means that you're connecting with something that roots you, that pulls you in to stabilize you, to hold you so you feel secure, so you feel safe, so you feel like you have security, you know. That's what grounding is. Oh, Mr. Pastor Paul. I'm not using pagan cards. I'm actually using Face Change Rubik Cube. It's a game. We also use Trivial Pursuit. Okay, we also use We use a lot of game cards. We use a lot of books. We'll use the thesaurus. And we do those things to show you that energy is everything. And that Spirit said, ward off evil spirits. And we do that to show you that everything is energy. And your electromagnetic field, speaking of that, is what you are connecting to a grid of energy that has information in it. And information is available to anybody to tap into. And you, as long as you have an intention and you're coming from heart consciousness and you're able to discern what is good energy and what's not so good energy, you can receive guidance, you can receive messages. And so we use all kinds of game cards to show you that it's not just about tarot cards. Tarot cards are just, all cards are neutral. It's not the cards that, define you, it's the person who's reading them. So, and by Jesus, we call Jesus Yeshua because that was his original name, but we do love Yeshua. So we just want to share that with you. That was important. That was for somebody. All right. Tell Jesus he was a no-show the other day when I was at the ATM. Well, I don't know if that's possible. Energy cannot leave you. You're never alone. If you are at the ATM and you needed help, perhaps you have to work on being in heart consciousness so you can match Jesus's energy, Yeshua's energy. That's your fault for being a bum. Be nice now. Let's be nice. Well, maybe old dirty bastard was looking for some kind of faith and he didn't find it and he thought that Jesus was a bum. I don't know. We'll find out. So I was getting like the vibe to do some cards that I don't normally do. Some funny cards. So we'll do those. But let's begin. Old dirty bastard. Russell Tyrone Jones. We're so happy to have you. We're happy to answer the call. If you are in a state of healing and you are in love and light and you would like to come into my energy field, I invite you with Archangel Michael so that we can get a message from you. We're happy to understand your human experience. Please come forward. Please tell us your energy, the time. Please tell us what your overall energy was like. This was his overall energy. Old dirty bastard might have suffered from anxiety underneath that, fun, eccentric facade. Okay? He might have suffered from anxiety. He's very silly. He's very silly. He liked to be funny, he liked to be silly, but he had an underlying, he was overwhelmed. He was overwhelmed with something. All right. All right. I was thinking of the amazing story generator the other day. Y'all are crazy, man. You're unhinged. I need everyone to behave, because if you're not going to behave, then I have to have my moderators get you out. And I'm so grateful for my moderators. I love them very much. And they're always looking out for me. So if you can't behave and you can't be here and enjoy the heals, enjoy the story, enjoy the lesson, then you gotta go, okay? So please behave and you can stay. But if you can't behave, then you gotta go, okay? I love you so much. Longing for a simpler life. I didn't even mean to open it up to that, but this is the first one. Longing for a simpler life. Okay. Hi, Earth Fallen Rising 413N. Hello. A world-weary intelligence agent. Is stalked by a jealous admirer. Longing for a simpler life in a world-weary intelligence agent is stalked by a jealous admirer. 9. 3, 6, 9, and 3 plus 6 is 9. 36 chambers. What? "36 Chambers" was their first album. 3 plus 6 is 9, and Spirit just said 9. So he longed for a simpler life. Maybe that's where his anxiety came from. A world-weary intelligence agent. Someone who's been through a lot of experience, a lot of pain, a lot of trauma, perhaps, that made him weary. Someone who's traveled the world, who's gathered a lot of intelligence or knew a lot about something. And perhaps someone in his camp was jealous, or he was jealous of something, or he was watched, or he could have been gang stalked. Ashley. Spirit just said Ashley. Someone named Ashley could be significant. We're talking to Old Dirty Bastard today. Russell Tyrone Jones. So he definitely could have been overwhelmed by the amount of notoriety he gained. It might have been unexpected that he would blow up in the way he did. There could have, I don't know if someone in his environment was jealous of him, or jealous of how he blew up, or something like that. He had some kind of intelligence, or gained some kind of intelligence, as in the position that he gained, that made him weary. Maybe that's where the anxiety comes from. So I was really drawn to do my mind trap cards. Mind trap. So I don't know if anything will come out, but I'm just following the clues and we'll see what comes out. What else? Russell, tell us more. Shadow and his men searched the frozen tundra for escaped convict Sid Shady. Just as they were about to give up, one of Shadow's men spotted a body. Shady was found lying dead in the snow. There were no tracks leading to or from the body. The cause of death was partially due to the unopened pack on his back. Shady did not die of thirst, hunger, or cold. What was in Shady's pack that led to his death? That is oddly specific, Old Dirty Bastard. Wow. An unopened parachute. Someone is coming here. Parachute. An unopened parachute. Because he was high. He died of an overdose. An unopened parachute means that he fell. He was flying high. He didn't have a parachute, so he died. Shadow and his men. The escaped convict, Sid Shady. That is hilarious. Okay. Excuse me. I'm still overcoming a little bit of a cold. The cause of death was partially due to the overdose. He did not die of thirst or hunger or cold. parachute, something that was supposed to help him. Someone that was supposed to help him, Shadow Man. Someone who was supposed to help him left him for dead by, it says the cause of death was partially due to an unopened pack on his back. Interesting. Okay, tell us more. Should I do another mind trap? It will challenge the way you think. Boyer! Hello, Boyer. Sam Slug and Sid Shady again. Sid Shady's here. Slam Slug and Sid Shady were trying to snitch a few oranges from an orange grove. Snitch. But found them to be out of reach. Since Slug stands 6 feet and Shady stands 5 feet, Slug invited Shady to stand on his shoulders in order to reach the fruit. Shady climbed up on Slug's shoulders, but even then the fruit was just beyond Shady's grasp. Would it make any difference in reach if Slug was to stand on Shady's shoulders? Yes, due to Slug's height, his arms are naturally longer. I told you the parachute is metaphorical for someone supposedly who is trying to help him. Someone holy death, supposedly. Someone who is supposed to help Russell or ODB may have caused his death or been partially responsible for his death. I don't think ODB was supposed to die. Modern luxury. Mothman. It said that he died of tramadol, a deadly mixture of tramadol and cocaine. And I know that in the past, certain celebrities who have died of overdoses have had the same exact mixture of the deadly combination of tramadol and cocaine, such as the one that comes to mind right away is Marilyn Monroe. And this says that Sid Shady were trying to snitch a few oranges. It's a funny word to use. It could have used grab oranges, cut oranges, snap oranges, but it says snitch. And this says a world-weary intelligence agent. I have to say, by the way, for legal purposes, this is for entertainment purposes only. I cannot prove anything that comes out in the energy reads. I'm just reading the energy. So there were 2 people, and this ODB thought this person was their friend. Someone who has, whose arms are naturally longer. So they have some kind of pull or some kind of reach or authority to help them, to help ODB in his situation, whatever that situation may be, something longing for a simpler life. He could have been trying to overcome something, maybe overcome drugs and alcohol. For dark knowledge. He may, for dark knowledge. Spirit just said for dark knowledge. He was supposed to help him, and maybe ODB had information or dark knowledge, and his friend was trying to, it wasn't really his friend, he was just pretending to be his friend. He said, stand on my shoulders, I can, in order to reach the fruit, I'm part of an order, I can reach fruit, I have some kind of fruit, I'll help you climb on my shoulders, hop on, we can make a difference. But ODB was like, will it really make a difference? Like, are you really here to help me? There's some kind of, lie that happened, because this person was trying to see how much this person knew, how much ODB knew about some kind of dark knowledge or intelligence. This person could have been jealous. I don't know if this was an old friend or a new friend, but this person could have been jealous and or was an undercover agent or something of an order, some kind of order. And they were sent in to find out how much he knew about something, or where he was at in his journey, or, what is he going to do beyond, because he needed help climbing out of some kind of hole that he was in. Okay. They wanted to know what his state of mind was. So they came into him as a secret intelligence agent, as some kind of agent, possibly because they were already had a spirit of jealousy due to the fact that if ODB got back on track, maybe they would surpass them or something like that. So they were responsible for his death because something was found out about some kind of dark knowledge. Okay. We'll grab one more. From the mind trap, therein lies the secret, the scheming Susie. For you see, there is a 7-letter word in the English language that contains 10 words without rearranging any of its letters. What is the word? Therein lies the secret. Therein lies the secret. Some kind of dark knowledge. Therein, there, he, in, reign, her, here, air, therein, herein. Damn, that was a mind trap for sure. Therein lies the secret. Therein, he, in, reign, her, here. And it says in quotations, therein lies the secret. What is the word? Therein is the word. For you see, there is a 7-letter word in the English language that contains 10 words without rearranging any of its letters therein. Wow, that's cool. So therein lies the secret. So he was in some kind of there, he, in, reign, her, here, air. He made an error. He made an error while he was in there. He made an error. He made an error. That's the secret. Some kind of error he made that required him to be gang stalked, watched by this person who is affiliated with him, who may have been commissioned or asked to follow him or encourage him or make him think he had, that he was trusted. Wow. Okie dokie. I'm being led to go to Sophocles. So let's read Sophocles. Okay. Let me see. Tell us more. What was the error that you made? What was the error that you made that caused you to have to be stalked or watched? Let me see your face, my own only sister, can you see? Because we are the survivors. Today, Zeus is completing in us the ceremony of pain and dishonor and disaster and shame that began with Oedipus, and today again, the proclamation under the rule of war. But binding, they say, on every citizen. Haven't you heard? Don't you see hatred marches on love? When friends, our own people, our family are treated as enemies. I can shatter your confidence, Spirit said. Since the day we lost our brothers, both in one day, both to each other, I haven't thought of love, happy or painful, either. Last night the enemy army left. I know nothing further. Nothing makes me happy. Nothing hurts me anymore. Damn. Let me see your face. My only sister, or you could say brother, since it could be a sister or it could be a brother. Someone close to him. This is where is it? When friends, our own people, our family are treated as enemies. Someone who became his secret enemy? Wow. Because he was the survivor of he completed some kind of ceremony of pain and dishonor and disaster and shame. Under the rule of war, it was binding. This ceremony binded him to something. That was his error, because it brought him dishonor and disaster and shame. It brought him some kind of hatred, something that some kind of binding contract that he broke when he completed some kind of ceremony, and it made his friends, his own people, his family turn against him and treat him as an enemy. Damn. So he did some kind of ceremony. And I don't know what that would consist of, but clearly there's some kind, it says right here, order. Please go. In some kind of order, he did a ceremony where he was bound or to some kind of promise that he broke. No, don't talk to spirits, only the Holy Spirit, or try test these spirits with, well, Jesus isn't actually named Jesus. His name's Yeshua. So we're here with Holy Spirit. So don't you worry about it, okay? So yeah, he made some kind of promise that he broke, and it caused him dishonor, and it was some kind of error he made. He may have made it when he was inebriated or something, I'm feeling. You have the ability. Thank you, Spirit. So he messed up. He broke some kind of binding contract. Perhaps a promise, or I don't know much about these orders and their ceremonies, but they do have non-disclosure agreements, and they have Richard, hello. Hi, Richard. I'm not going to worry about anything either. Everything works out for us because we're blessed. They do have like non-disclosure agreements that you have to sign, or, there are rumors where people who have been invited to these ceremonies will, get berated with a lot of gluttony of things like food, alcohol, drugs, and then you'll go through like this initiation that doesn't look like an initiation from uneducated perspective, but it's actually like a ceremony, and you get to the end where you're in this place where they've placed you in this situation where they basically blackmail you, and they say, you're bound to us, and I did Spirit did share with us the law of contagion, which is a real thing. It's sympathetic magical thinking, and it has been studied at what was the school at the Cambridge University, and it says a superstitious belief that two objects or people that have come into contact are magically linked. The law of contagion states that a magical link persists between two objects or people after they've come into contact. The link can only be broken by formal cleansing, exorcism, or the act of banishing. And it says right here, in voodoo, contagious magic is used in many rituals and spells. For example, a puen is a small packet containing personal items from the person the spell is intended for. In traditional societies, people believe that an effect on one object could cause an analogous effect on another object. So, definitely bound to something by some kind of ceremony, bound to some kind of energy, where there was an agreement that if, I don't know what the agreement was, but he broke it. And so whatever that was, I'm assuming it's don't talk about what we do here, I mean, I don't know for sure yet, but we'll see. Okay. Thank you, Robin. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's do cards for humanity. We'll do some cards for humanity. Okay, let's see what comes up. Tell us more. So what was this error you made? What was this therein lies the secret? Some kind of secret. Having a dream about peeing and then actually peeing. I think I was supposed to do the bot cards first. After the earthquake, Sean Penn brought having a dream about peeing and actually peeing to people of Haiti. And I just said voodoo. They're in the tunnels. Something that he did in the underground tunnels that was voodoo with these people that he thought was a dream. Because he was so inebriated. Because I'm telling you, in these things where if you went to a party and they openly were practicing voodoo and you're not about voodoo, you wouldn't do it. You'd say, I'm not, this isn't for me. But if you go to a party where they're engaging in food and drink and they're being merry and they're having fun and it looks like a celebration, and you get to a certain place where you're already hours into the party, drugs, alcohol, you get to a place where you can be mind trapped, where you're inebriated, where you're more susceptible to suggestion. And then that's when they, after hours of that, that's when they get you, Charlie, would you stop? I mean, come on. Old dirty bastard just being funny. So, he did something that he thought was where he was in like a dream state, and then having a dream about peeing and then actually peeing. It's something that he wasn't super aware that he did, but he did, but he didn't realize what he did. Okay? Something like that. Some kind of voodoo. Tell us more. Some kind of voodoo. After the earthquake, Sean Penn brought voodoo to the people of Haiti. The 5 stages of grief, denial, anger, bargaining, throwing a water balloon full of horse pee at the teacher. Another pee reference. Something about animals, pee, a teacher. Some kind of humiliation ritual. Some kind of humiliation ritual. The 5 stages of grief, denial, anger, bargaining, throwing a water balloon full of horse pee at the teacher, and then acceptance. What did I bring back from Mexico? What did I bring back from Mexico? No longer going to school because I already know everything. Yeah, old dirty bastard found out something that he did that was dark, that was done in a time or through some kind of inebriation where it felt like a dream, that he was having a hard time accepting. He was in denial, grief, denial, anger, bargaining, acceptance. And he may have, Spirit said incubus at the beginning of this reading. Let me just look up incubus, because this is a real energy that attaches itself to you. Incubus. What is an incubus spirit? A male demon that appears in folklore to have sexual relations. The word incubus comes from the Latin word incubar, which means to lie on top of. Yeah, Spirit talks about this. It's succubus and incubus. And so this person may have, they may have attached some kind of energy to them, or they witnessed some kind of energy, something about, what did I bring back from Mexico? No longer going to school because I already know everything. It's kind of like the book said, a world-weary intelligence agent. Whatever he witnessed, whatever he saw, whatever this secret was, he was having a hard time accepting, because it was like he experienced it in a dream. It's like, did this actually happen? I've seen everything. What did I bring back with me? What came back with me? And it was grief, denial, and anger. And those are the things that he couldn't let go of. And so he sought help from a friend, because this person was claiming that they could help them because they were really being stalked or gang stalked, because they were on the verge of having to they're breaking from whatever this secret was, this voodoo that they knew about, that they were a part of, some kind of humiliation ritual. Some kind of humiliation ritual. Yeah, he may have witnessed something that was really dark and really disturbing, that he wasn't ready for, that he wasn't, that he was having a hard time accepting. And that could be the reason why he drank a lot. I remember a quote of him saying that when he stopped drinking, he felt like he couldn't do music anymore, because he just felt more confident when he was drinking. But at the same time, he kept messing up his life because he was drinking. So he may have become more heavy into drinking because of something that was presented to him at a very early stage of his career, that he had a hard time accepting. It was like a dream that he participated in, some kind of humiliation ritual. So, let me see.
Where are the kids?
So tell me more about this teacher or friend or something. Who is this friend that was supposed to help you? How often do you use your imagination? Have you ever searched your ancestry? Someone he considered a brother or like family, someone very close to him, was told to watch him. Watch him. He's on the verge of talking, of exposing something. You need to watch him. You need to go with him and pretend to, infiltrate him, pretend that you want to help him and see where he's at. What's something you secretly love that you're ashamed to admit? Oh, shit. What's something you secretly love that you're ashamed to admit? Is there a product or service you'd be the spokesperson for? I told you, alcohol. He loved drinking. He loved rapping while he was drunk. And so he was teetering on being sober and being drunk. There was like two different realities that he was like torn between. Because he had already established himself as this celebrity. He made 2 albums. He was part of this group. But every time he drank, he messed everything up. But he was blowing up so fast that it became overwhelming. Because what he did to blow up was like a dream. It was a humiliation ritual that he was bound to. He may have been experiencing lots of dark thoughts, lots of toxic behavior. He may have been in toxic relationships, but he wanted to continue to have fame. He wanted to continue to have celebrity because that's the path he chose. But the only time he could make music was when he was drunk. What would your friends say is their favorite thing about you? Are you living it the life you want or the life you have? I just said that. Have you ever had a side hustle or considered having one? See, I don't know much about these orders, and I'm not for them. I'm against them, but one thing about all these celebrities is there is not one celebrity that we've read who hasn't come into contact with this order, okay? And there's no way that you can be a celebrity without doing some kind of ceremony with this order. It's like they're no matter what outlet you go through, you have to do something to be at this level of celebrity. It's a controlled experiment, okay? Are you kidding me? This is way too on the head. I'm so confused. Who are you talking about? Because this is like way too real in relation to what I was talking about. We're talking about Old Dirty Bastard, but if you have a similar situation, then that's totally possible because energy is fluid. So it can relate to multiple people's experiences for sure. I'm sorry, I'm so stuffy when I'm reading because I'm overcoming a cold, so please forgive me. So according to this, he was ashamed of how he reached his level of celebrity, and it caused him to be very alcoholic. Very, he did do a lot of drugs, and he admitted that. He did admit that in some way or to somebody, that he could be a spokesperson for that. And it was his favorite thing to do. He loved to do the music, but he couldn't. It says, are you living the life you want or the life you have? But it's not very sustainable to be in guilt and shame and be part of this order. And accept yourself, and then the only way that you can perform is if you're, mind altering, drunk or whatever. And so he started to consider something that he could do that would be other, that something on the side. Some he wanted to. Oh, it says, would you marry someone you loved if they had a different religious beliefs than you? Yeah, so he was bound to this order that had different religious beliefs as him, and he wanted to break away. He wanted to have you taken a personality test. He wanted to discover himself. He wanted to find other ways to make money, because what's your earliest childhood memory? Because I mean, I know that he grew up with Wu-Tang. I think like they're cousins with RZA or something. There's some kind of familial connection here. And so he's been doing that for his whole life, and it got him to a place where he wasn't happy. Are you living the life you want or the life you have? He was just living the life he had because that's just all he knew, and he didn't know anything else. And so he did this ceremony that bound him to this different religious beliefs that he had, that he wanted to change because it wasn't part of his personality. As he was growing up and he was realizing that things were changing for him, and that this lifestyle, it wasn't healthy for him. What motivates you to get out of bed in the morning? Yeah, because he was depressed. He had anxiety. He had too much pressure. He wanted a simpler life, like the story generator. He wanted a simpler life. If you could time travel, would you visit the past or the future? Have you ever disliked something and then changed your mind? Yes. He something that he loved to do so much that led him down this path of darkness, where he was bound to some kind of energy, and he went through some kind of humiliation ritual to attain celebrity. Oh my gosh, this message matches the download I got this morning about manifestation. When you want something so bad, and you haven't cleared your field, and you still have so much you have to heal, and you're in a lack mindset, and you're put toxins in your body, and you have toxic relationships and all these things, it makes you manifest things that match that energy. So you can get what you want, but it might not be what you need. It might not turn out the way that the thing is, you can't want something to be happy. Like, you can't say, well, once I become a famous rapper, then I'll be happy. Once I become a famous rapper and I have all the money and the bitches in the house, then I'll be happy. Because it doesn't work that way. You have to be happy now, and then what's meant for you, if you want to still be a rapper while you're in heart consciousness, because you're healing your own wounds, you will match that rapper if it's meant to be at that state of vibration. Does that make sense? So Old Dirty Bastard had a lot of things that were imbalanced when he gained celebrity. And then, not to mention the fact that to be a celebrity in our society, you have to go through a humiliation ritual that is traumatizing. It traumatizes you, and it gets held over your head. Like, it will tell everybody what you did if you tell whatever secret, and therein lies the secret. Something that he was, that he did when he was in an inebriated state, because that's how these ceremonies work. They wouldn't just pop voodoo on you the minute you walk through the door. They have to ease you into it through gluttony, through drug, sex, alcohol, food, partying. Okay, and that's what they do. And then by the time you get to the end of these rooms of gluttonous pleasure, of things that facilitate your physical needs, you get to the end where you're in such a daze. It's like a dream that you do something that you're ashamed of, that makes it so shameful that it's hard to overcome. And so old dirty bastard wanted to change because the road he was going down was going to be detrimental. He realized that it wasn't what he wanted. It didn't match his childhood memory. He got what he wanted in childhood, but it wasn't fun. Or he thought it was fun at first, and until he got older and he realized, this is taking everything from me. So he wanted to leave, but you can't leave. You can't leave. Once you're bound to that energy, there's no leaving. Okay? You have to stay. So that was his error, that he thought that he could leave. So he was sent someone who is like his family. It says ancestry, so it could have been someone in his family, someone who is also in the industry, because they had outstretched arms that could reach fruit, it says. And they said, get on my shoulders, I'll help you, we'll climb out of this hole together. And it was really just an agent, an intelligence agent, to find out what he was going to do, what his plan was. And he was in a murky situation. He was in a depression. He wanted to be seen. He wanted to look deeper. He wanted to heal. He wanted to move away. Thanks, Reed. Love that you're here. Thank you. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button so people can find us. We'd really appreciate that. It helps us out a lot. He was looking to find resolution and peace because he was getting older and he was wanting to take life slow. He wanted a more simple life. He wanted to remain true. He wanted to remain true to his path and gain emotional strength so he could feel at home anywhere. But there was a painful truth that he needed to secure that wasn't solid. It was his nail in the coffin. He was looking for a new beginning in a flawed situation, and it brought a tower moment to him because he couldn't change his mindset. He didn't know how to gain his innocence back and to be a new beginner. He thought he was making progress and movement, but he realized that there was something he couldn't overcome. He was having a hard time controlling his moods. He was having a hard time controlling his moods because of a beast who allows nothing. Because he wanted wealth and success, but he couldn't control his moods, and he had a beast who allows nothing. Eyes are watching. He was watched everywhere from the outside. And it caused him to have caution. It was making him paranoid. Because he was stalking. Yes. Because he knew that people were watching him, and stalking him, gang stalking him, watching his every move for what he was going to do and say. Because he knew some kind of dark secret. And he wanted to continue. He wanted to try this new life, this new beginning. But there's something he couldn't control, and it was his partying. He couldn't control his addiction. It was directly correlated to his career. And so he started to realize, or this group of people realized that he was starting to drink again. There may have been some kind of sobriety here, and he started to drink again. And there's something he couldn't control, his mood swings. He was very impulsive, and he was very loud, and they had to watch him because he was like one of those flangy heads. Like, he was unpredictable, and they knew that he didn't have the emotional strength to remain true to the pact, to the ceremony, to whatever he was bound to. That he wasn't, if he was drunk enough, he wouldn't be able to shut his mouth. He had to step carefully because he knew that playing this game would eventually get him caught up. He tried to make, he was in survival mode. He was trying to have the stamina to stay sober. He was trying to be self-sufficient. He wanted to take a journey of sobriety, but he couldn't do both things at the same time. He couldn't be a rapper and be sober. He felt like he didn't have the ability to do that. And so he slowly veered off the path. The creature closes in. The beast who allows nothing. The beast was his addiction because he had so many things that he was ashamed of, and he wanted to stay in his career of rapping. He wanted that, but he was what is that word when it's like he was impulsive. He was you never knew what he was gonna do, and that made him that made these people have a lot of caution towards him because they saw him as some kind of cash cow, because once he was, doing what they wanted him to do, he was very successful and gained them lots of wealth. But he was cantankerous. He was very volatile, and he couldn't perform unless he was drinking. He couldn't maintain the same amount of rapping or whatever skill if he wasn't drinking. That's where his personality or where his style comes from. But he couldn't do it while he was sober. And so he started to drink more and more, which was not what he wanted to do, and it wasn't what they wanted either, because he had some kind of knowledge that he couldn't shut his mouth about when he was drinking. So he gave into temptation. He gave into temptation because he wanted to be able to perform. He wanted to be able to protect his prosperity and his power, but he didn't know how to do that without drinking. So the person that they sent in was someone close to them to watch them, someone that was also jealous of them, because ODB could be very successful if he wanted to. And so they were like having the wrong people around you that you think are the right people, but they're really not. He wanted to be respected in this celebrity. Perhaps he was working too much. He was trying to reach goals that that he couldn't attain because he had to be drunk to maintain this thing. So the person that came in was sneaky and secretive and had a hidden agenda, and possibly was a monster and was actually the reason why he couldn't grasp sobriety. Someone who was very sneaky, a fox in the hen house, someone who pretended to be devoted and loyal, but really was just spying on him to see where he was at, that met his basic needs, but didn't sustain some kind of when you're around somebody who's supposed to help you, they'll be encouraging and they'll help you when you feel like you're down and out. But this person may have actually tried to keep them at this level of depression.
Contains these letters.
The letter Q. The letter Q. The letter Q comes up a lot. So this person was the cause of death was partially due to the unopened pack on his back. So it was 50-50. This person who was close to him used ODB's inability to stay away from temptation because they knew that they wouldn't be strong enough to withstand any temptation of drugs or alcohol, okay? And so, but they couldn't, he also, it was his fault too because he couldn't maintain his working ethic because he couldn't do what he did without drinking. And so it was his fault and this other person's fault. He says it was 50-50. He didn't know how to overcome the guilt and shame of the humiliation ritual that he did long ago when he was young, very young, to gain this level of celebrity. But the level of celebrity he gained was not gained at the right in heart consciousness. It was gained in a lack mentality. And so that's why his celebrity matched what his mentality was at, what his vibration was at, full of toxicity, drugs, alcohol, inconsistency, just, it wasn't, Spirit said not likely, it wasn't matching. It wasn't matching. So he got everything he wanted, but in the energy of lack. And so that's why we teach you how to go into heart consciousness. History. My ex was a tornado, drinking, abusive, bipolar. It was bizarre, all of it. And his abuse destroyed us both. Yeah. Well, OGB could have possibly been abusive. He definitely was toxic when he was drinking. I don't think he wanted to be, but he had a lot of childhood wounds. He had this humiliation ritual. He had a lot of things that he had not cleared out of his field. And so when it came time to where he realized he wanted to change, where he wanted to do better, that he wasn't living the life that he wanted to be sober. He wanted to live a sober life. He wanted to be able to work hard and to plant seeds and, bees right here, killer bees on the swarm. He wanted to have growth and be respected, but he realized that he couldn't do it without drinking. And so he slowly started to drink to try to work. And in those times of drinking, that's when the friend was sent in, because when he drinks, he's uncontrollable, and he does things that are dangerous for this group or whatever. He's what's the word? Oh my gosh, I can't think of the word. I said it earlier. He's a loaded cannon. You just never. He's what is the word? Inconsistent in. I just said it earlier. Oh my god, I cannot think of it. He's. I can't think of it. I'm sorry, I can't think of the word. But he's basically a loose cannon. He's you don't never know what he's gonna do. So his friend was sent in. It was gonna be his birthday soon. And he said, "Hey, you want to party? You want to have some fun?" And ODB had already slowly started drinking more, to try to keep up with the work that was required by whatever this order was, because that's how when you're a celebrity and you're an artist for these orders or these, record companies, you're basically property. And they own you, and you have to earn your keep. You have to deliver a certain amount of songs or work, movies, whatever, for them to make money off of you, because you're an asset. If you're not doing that, if you're not making money, if you're not delivering the goods, then you're no good to them. They're not going to invest in you. And so he felt a lot of pressure and wanted a simpler life. So he's starting to find ways that he could break away from this group, but he couldn't stop drinking at the same time. And so I have drink right here. Drink. And so his friend took advantage of that because you can't get away from this group. You can't break away. And he couldn't stop drinking. So he was like, boom, boom. It was like a double whammy. That was his error. That was his error. So they made it look like a overdose, but he was already, the state of mind with this death is that it would just look like an accident because old dirty bastard's already an alcoholic. He was already, prone to do drugs and alcohol. Nobody's going to question if he has an overdose. But so it was like, it was his own fault, but it was also used against him, is what I'm getting. Because he was a liability. Because he was too impulsive. And they didn't know what he was going to do at any minute. And he wanted to break away. How can we heal it? Russell, if knowing what you know... Thought transmission. Knowing what you know now, what would you have done differently? He said making you do it. What would you have done differently? Knowing what you know now, what would you have done differently? What's the advice you have for people who need help overcoming things that they are ashamed of? Guidance. When you make divine intelligence your foundation, you finally have a fixed star to follow. Asking for guidance. He would have admitted that he was in too deep, that he needed divine guidance to ask for help. Intuition. He would have followed his intuition. Each person's road to inner Lord is extraordinary and personal. How liberating to listen inside and sense moment to moment what's needed. He would have trusted his intuition. 11:11 on the clock. Oh, I'm so stuffy. He wished that he would have followed some kind of guidance that he was being given that was telling him, don't be a part of this. Don't do this. What else? I just saw sacrifice. Sacrifice again. Sacrifice again. Karma. Manifesting my superpower. Change. And devotion unites me with the infinite. Cosmic flower. He didn't... He received some kind of karma. He received some kind of karma because of something that he did and some kind of humiliation ritual where he sacrificed something that caused him to receive karma. This is something that what goes around comes around. He couldn't change something that he intuitively knew needed to change, and he didn't know how to heal something that was interfering with manifesting a superpower. He devoted time into the wrong thing. Instead of devoting time into himself, he was looking outside of himself to find validation and to find success instead of understanding that he could be successful in many other ways. He was very laser focused on being sober while rapping, by being a rapper, but he had already committed some kind of karmic consequence, something that had karmic consequences. He sacrificed himself with his addictions and he sacrificed his own ability to overcome his traumas and things that he needed to heal when he did some kind of humiliation ritual to become some part of some order that eventually led to his demise, because he had to pay karma back, because whatever he did came back to him, and this is the way it came back to him. And so if he were able to ask for guidance and to follow his intuition instead of following his earthly physical wants and needs, He would have found his own power in his own voice, and he would have changed. He would have changed what he would have been so focused on. He would have focused more on himself instead of focusing on his career. He would have worked on overcoming these things that he has from childhood, so that way he could be in a place to figure out what new journey he could embark upon. What other superpowers does he have? Because he was so reliant. He thought that that was the only thing he could do, because he had invested so much time into his career as a rapper, that that was what he was laser focused on, regaining, instead of changing first and over, healing your wounds, and then reestimate what you're good at and find out something else that you could follow. He could have, I'm sure there are many other things that he could have done in a healed state that would have been different from rapping, but he chose to pursue something that wasn't serving him, and he wishes he would have followed his intuition and guidance that was leading him away from that. Wow. That's a great message to share. Sometimes what we think we want isn't what we need. And when we do something for so long, sometimes we get trapped into the idea that this is all we can do. And what else could I do? I've already done this for so long. I have to try to be good at this because I'm already established in this. But that's not true. Just because you've done something for so long doesn't mean you can change whenever you want. And you do change as a person and as an individual. You do change. What you wanted to do as a child is not the same thing you want to do when you're 40 years old. And if it is, that's great. Good for you. I hope that you're pursuing that, and it's easy for you. But if you're pursuing something that doesn't serve you anymore, it's not going to be easy. It's never going to be easy. You're always going to meet obstacles. And Spirit always tells me it's easy, it's easy, it's easy. It's supposed to be fun. But if you keep on pursuing something, or trying to make something fit, or trying to continue to do something that doesn't fit your vibration anymore, it's going to be harder for you, and you're going to come up against odds that could be the lead to your downfall. And you could have many things, you could experience many things that you didn't realize you would experience, because you're not following your guidance. The guidance is, it's not easy. This isn't easy. If you have to drink to do something, to be good at something, then that's not for you, because anything that's for you will be fun, will be easy to do. It will be delightful. You'll feel joy. You'll feel excited to do it, not dread that you have to, oh, I can't do this unless I drink or whatever. So that's the lesson. And I think that that's a great lesson, because we often sacrifice ourselves for things that we think we want, but they don't work out, because we keep pushing something that's not meant to be for us. And even if it was something that we did before, he did something before that he could only do when he was drinking. And so that's a great lesson. Thank you so much, ODB. Hit the like, patience is top notch, white wizard. Oh, thank you, Reed. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, Charlie, I didn't see what you said before. Let me see. He wasn't an evil guy. He told me he wanted to be sober when we met, but he overworked and was drinking and taking Adderall to stay up, and he lost his mind and got arrested for hurting me. The shame that made everything worse, and that ate the relationship alive from the inside. I loved him more than anyone I've ever loved, and I stuck by him and took everything he gave, hoping that unjudgmental love could give him space to be better. Oh, well, that's a lesson for you, Charlie, that you can't change anyone. Even if you unconditionally love them, they have to want to change. Change is right here. They have to want to change, or realize they have to be aware that they need to change. And that's a good lesson too. We can't change people who are committed to staying the same. And we have to recognize that in people as well and walk away from them, especially if their inability to change is affecting our lives negatively. So thank you, Reed, for supporting me. I know I need some water too. You're more beautiful every day. I see you here. You're changing. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful that you're here. Thank you for your support. Thank you, Russell. Tyrone Jones, ODB, thank you for sharing this beautiful message with us. We're so grateful for the lessons that you are sharing with the collective. That's how it's supposed to work. We share our knowledge with each other so we can learn from each other, so that way we can avoid these kind of very traumatic situations, and we hope that it helps. We love you so much. We'll see you tomorrow.